Hey guys, the Jericho2 here for runitones.com and welcome to episode number 8 of my mini course Redline Mastery. Today, Sayonara, putting the money in. Let's go. So we're going to talk about overbetting the river as a bluff. One of the biggest characteristics of being a great poker player is having the guts, the willingness, the courage to put all the money in on the river. And this can be quite challenging for most players. That is because it's super unhuman. Like you kind of want to put the money in when you have it. Like when you don't, it's kind of unintuitive. So I struggled with bluffing for a long time, and that's something that every players must overcome in some way. I was in it for a very long time. So I believe that every player kind of starts like it's very rare that you have players that start getting into the game and they're like bluff happy. So this is something that you learn along the way, I believe. So whenever I'm reviewing students' database, one of the things that usually sticks out the most is the lack of betting the river as a bluff. I would say that even regs and mid stakes will be on the fence about overbetting river as a bluff. I think that having it in you is one of the characteristics that separates great players from good players. Having the courage or the guts to jam 2.5x, 3x pot on the river, that's what separates great players from good players, in my opinion. Um, so what we're going to do today, we will list the characteristics that a hand needs to have in order to be overbetting river as a bluff. We'll look at some concrete examples and we'll do a summary of findings. So let's go. Which hands are good for overbetting river as a bluff? We will take a look specifically at the bet line in position versus big blind single raise spot. So we open cutoff, big blind calls, and we're playing the pot. So we want to have hands that block nuts. So I'm going to give an example for each so that you guys can understand. So let's say we open cutoff with ace 9 heart hex, offsuit basically with the ace of hearts. So, and we see bet on king jack 10 2 hearts. Okay. They call turn 7 offsuit. This is a really good barreling hand because we block ace queen, queen 9, 9 8. We have a heart. So definitely overbetting, and then river 6 of hearts. I would always rip it there. Yeah, always triple barreling. So I think that would be a really good combo to do so with. We also want to have hands that don't block villain's folding range. So let's say we open cutoff with ace 3 of diamonds, big blind calls, queen 8 4 2 hearts. We bet. Some people bet range here, some people don't. I would bet pretty often. Bet flop, call, turn deuce offsuit. We turn gutter. We have an overcard. We block ace queen. I would overbet. And then on the river, the 6 offsuit. Villain should never improve here unless he has 5-3 of hearts. Maybe 7-5 of hearts, but that would raise pretty often on the flop too. So villain should not improve a lot on that river. We block the top of his range, which would be ace queen, and we don't block hearts, which are gonna often call fold. So I would be betting pretty much always bluffing here, I think. So yeah, that would be another great example. We also want to overbet hands that are at the bottom of our range. So cutoff again, 5-4 of diamonds, big blind calls, ace 8-7 rainbow, bet, flop, okay, turn deuce offsuit. We turn a double gutter, 6 or 3, makes a straight for us. So we overbet. And then on the queen offsuit on the river, we have basically the nut low in our range. We won't have 4-3, so I think we just jam here and hope for the best. And also the last one would be hands where it's impossible for a villain to have the nuts. So example, we have jack 8 on ace 10 5 rainbow. We bet turn 6. We overbet, and river 9 we jam. Here it's kind of impossible for a villain to have 8-7. So that would be a great spot, I believe, to just like bet shove. Yeah, so this would be the four main characteristics that I look for in a hand when debating whether or not I should be bluffing the river. So knowing which combos are good to nuke on the river will drastically improve your red line and subsequently your overall win rate. And I believe that how good or how poorly you play the river is a direct testament to how much money you will be making in this game. I think people know this, but sometimes they don't realize it. Most of the money in poker is made or lost on the river. It took me a long time to get to understand that. But yeah, like studying the river spots regularly will do wonders to your win rate. Making the right decision on the river, knowing which combos to nuke, knowing when to put it all in, knowing when to give up, that's really important in poker. Like playing the river optimally, it's super underrated. So that's where the money is made. So that's why we want to know which bluffs to bet, which ones to overbet shove. This will definitely improve your red line and your win rate. Important tip also: the bigger the river bet is, the more that we are allowed to bluff. Yeah, so this is something that you guys need to know. The bigger the bet is, the more we're gonna have combos that can rip the river. So let's go take a look at a few hands that I have selected here. We open button. Gazzy calls in the big blind, but this is going to be range bet. Calls. I really like that combo to overbet the turn. The Queen of Hearts is good. It doesn't block stuff like Queen 7 of Spades that could call the flop. Like the Queen of Hearts is kind of pure. And the club is really good. It's going to block some bluffs, some calling hands. Call and then river. I decided to rip. You might think the nine of clubs is not good. I think it is good because it blocks the straights that he will make when he has clubs. So Jack 9 of clubs might be there. It might three bet pre, might call. 9-6 of clubs. You can never have that. So I think it's a good combo. And then we're putting max pressure. Again, like he could have Jack 9, don't get me wrong, but he can never have 9-6. I mean, yeah, I said could have maybe 9-6 like that. But it's very you can never have like 9-6 of spades or 9-6 of diamonds. So and 6-4 is gonna be super hard for him to have. He can never have 6-4. It's really hard. 6-4 of clubs call. That's iffy already. So yeah, it's really hard for him to have a straight on the river. Jack 9 can raise flop, can raise turn. So I think we're putting max pressure here. I really like it. We get looked up by King 4. Fine, it happens. Let's have a look if that was the right call or not. I already ran the sim like flop, turn, river. And so here I got the sim to the river and then I put the all-in size, which would be that amount. Yeah, 428. Okay. Really big overbet. We're allowed to nuke basically 50% of our range here. That's a lot, just because we are, what's the size in the river that we are overbetting? Yeah, it's basically like 330. It's 2.5x. It's a really, really big size here. We're putting max pressure. So we're allowed to bluff a decent amount here. And on this run out, we're going to have a lot of bluffs. So we can see like there's my combo, even with the 9 of clubs, is always a bluff. So that was well done. We can see ace 9 off is there, ace 6 off. You have some ace 4 there. So basically stuff that blocks the straight that villain can't really have. Some queen jack, so open-ended that kind of busted. Queen 9, that's us. And the rest, you have ace 6, ace 4, ace 3, ace deuce. Queen 6 blocks the straight. Queen 4, so we see that recurring pattern, right? 9-6-4, 9-6-4, 6-4. So well, I mean, ace nine suited, we're not going to have it that often, but yeah, if it was, it would be a bluff. So we can see those patterns coming up. Queen three, that's pretty cool. Queen deuce, not going to happen too often. Yeah, we can see we should arrive here on the river with basically all of the 9-6. Jack 9, yeah, 6-4. We don't have it in the bottom range. Well, I think it checks back the turn, not sure. 8-5 is two pairs. So yeah, the main bluffs, ace 9, ace 6, ace 4, ace 3 is deuce. We're going to have some queen 9s and queen 6, queen 4, queen 3. So yeah, that's basically it. So we're allowed to bluff a lot here. We do have a lot of value too, don't get me wrong. And queen jack is bluff as well. But yeah, we do have a lot of value. We have sets, we have straights, two pairs. All the two pairs are new king, like even like 8-5, just going to town. So there's nobody's putting on brakes here. So just like, yeah, ripping it, and villain has to make a very tough decision on the river. So let's go to the next hand. This one is from UTG versus Big Blind, King Queen, offsuit, bet flop, okay, call. On that turn, which should never improve villain in those positions. Maybe sometimes he has like pocket fours, but he's never gonna hit two pairs with in these positions on that turn card. So I'm going to overbet here quite often. Calls, and then on that river, he never improves on that river, never ever. So I'm just gonna rip here and hope for the best. And we do get the fold this time, and I think that's a really good jam on the river. We don't have the spades. I would never jam if I had the spade here. That would be no go. I also think that having the 10 might not be so good, because you want him to have like 10-9, 10-8, Jack 10 to just like check call, and then check fold river. But we're going to have to look that up. But I think King Queen is a really good one to bluff here in those spades. So let's go to the screenshot of the river play here. 262% here, 2.6x spot basically. Okay, so if we take a look, all king queen combos are calling, okay, or jamming. So I would have given up with spades like a decent amount of the time. So even I was not bluffing full all the enough here. I think probably you can see ace 10, king 10 are kind of giving up a decent amount. I think that's because what I said, right? You want him to have pair plus straight draw, and then like check fold. We can see that the queen is really valuable because you block the nuts, right? Ace queen, just bet. I'm guessing the ace queen of spades is not jamming. Like 25% of the combo are not jamming, so it's definitely ace queen of spades. Even ace king suited, that's a pretty wild one. Well, that's cool. So those are going to be the main bluffs with king queen. The 10x, some are jamming, but very few and far between. Usually when it's like this, I try to just put them all in one batch. Like, let's say I'll jam all the king queen combos then, even the ones with a spade that are not always jamming, and then I'll never jam a 10. I think that makes it easier. We have some ace-x too. The ace-x are really good. I believe it's because you block top here, which is going to be one of his best calling hand. And we can see with the percentages, the ones that are giving up usually are going to be the suited one with the spade. And it's pretty sick. Ace 3 that rivers a pair, sometimes jam. Well, I would give up there. King X here, also decently good. You're going to block some strong top pairs. And I guess you give up with the spade, so that seems all right. And then you have like your nut lows here, your 7-6, your 6-5s that are gonna punt. Yeah, so because they're super low in your rate, and you see we're bluffing 58. We're betting the river 58% of the time, which is really That's a huge amount for somebody that is jamming 262% pot. So that's really good. That's really cool. Also, to note, it's really easy to start over bluffing there, right? If you bluff all those 10x combos, they are offsuit combos, suited combos. It can add up really quickly. But I think population is not bluffing those ace x here enough and those king x here. I think 7 6 6 5 is kind of a given. It's like so low in your range, you kind of have to rip it. But yeah, so just to showcase to you guys that we need to be bluffing a lot here. King queen, ace queen, all those those mid to baby ace x, king x, 7 6 6 5. Yeah, a lot of stuff here that we can rip, which is really cool. So let's go see hand number 3. Versus Gazzy again. Hopefully he doesn't call me down. So bet range, okay. I could definitely check the turn. I decided to overbet this time. I don't have a club. The heart is good, but it's not like the best hand here. And then river, I'm really low in my range with 10i here. Sure, I will have worse hands, but I don't have a club, so kind of want to just rip it. And we do end up getting the fold, which is great. So let's have a look in the PowerPoint and see if this was accurate. We can see that on this run out, we are our range doesn't want to jam as much. We don't have that as many hands. I guess it's because it's like button versus big blind, and there's so many combos. But if we were to look 10-9, no club, always ripping. So good job. If we were to take a look at the other bluffs, we can see queen 9. I'm guessing queen 9, no clubs. Queen 8, offsuit, no clubs. 10-8, probably no clubs. Ace 5, that's a cool one. And yeah, like 10-8, 10-7, queen 9, queen 8, queen 7. Ace 5, ace deuce. Queen 5. There's a lot of stuff going on there. 8-5 suited. Yeah, lots of bluffing combos there that I think a lot of people are missing. I think people will get like 10-9, queen 9, but I think they might miss like ace 5, ace deuce. Queen 7 might not always be there. Those 10-9, 10-8, 10-7. 9-8, 9-7. That's wild. Like, it means you overbetted the turn there with 9i there without basically any equity. It's because I think he just gave up the clubs, right? So yeah, there's a lot going on there. Pretty cool spot. And you put max pressure. You want to maximize your fold equity. So definitely a spot where I think a lot of people could improve on. Finally, I want to say, don't be afraid to put the money in. Mistakes will be made and they are part of the learning process. Punting stacks will happen when bluffing off wrong combos. I promise you guys, I've punted many stacks in my life. By punting, I mean like I bluffed the wrong combos. I thought it was probably good. It was not after I checked in the solver. So, and that's how you learn, right? That's how you get to know better the ranges and get to know better the theory. And I know it kind of sucks like making those costly mistakes. They are definitely growing pains, but you have to think about the long-term benefits of becoming a better player. So think long-term EV. And it goes without saying that the bet line will increase your red line by a ton. And by bet line, I mean the bet shove. Yeah, it will increase your red line by a ton. You should be able to generate many folds, and this will help lift your red line up. And obviously, it will lift up your win rate as well. This is what my students generally focus on when trying to improve their red line. You remember at the beginning of this mini course, I said that whenever I talk about red line with students, they always focus on bluffing. Well, this is the line they usually focus on the most. I think it's pretty valuable because a lot of people don't play that line that well. But yeah, this is the fun part, I think, of like getting being a red line player, like finding those overbet shoves. And yeah, like I say, figuring out the right combos to nuke on the river is fun to work on. Have fun over betting rivers, guys. So this was the Jericho 2 for runnitones.com. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.